Hey, it's me again. I find that I get asked a lot about how I stay motivated when making a game. The entire process can be very taxing on you emotionally, monetarily, and even physically. You're not just making a game, you're handling promotion, networking, brand building, content creation like blog posts, videos, social posts, and more. You're building a community around your game, your brand as a developer, or even yourself as an individual. So, how do you do all this work day in and day out and still stay motivated throughout the whole thing? It's going to sound really simple. I don't think about it. Easier said than done for sure, but I used to spend a lot of time worrying about failure. I think asking yourself the question, how do I stay motivated, is already setting you down the wrong path, because that tells me that maybe you already aren't motivated, or you're so worried about other aspects of your life that you already know you're going to lose motivation somehow. I only have my own experience to pull from, but my lack of motivation personally came from being able to code and self-doubt about my ability as an artist. Yeah, I've been an artist professionally in studios for a long time, but that only covers a bit of everything you need to do as an artist. I was primarily a world builder, so there were modeling techniques and various abilities I was weak in or didn't even know anything about. And code just wasn't even on my radar. I wasn't a programmer at all. So what I was really doing was not asking myself how to be motivated, but really I was asking myself, how am I going to overcome the abilities I know I lack? How can I do this development thing full time if I don't even know what I'm doing? I was looking at this big beast and doubting my abilities, so I just went back to life as I knew it. The real question wasn't about motivation, but about not believing I could do it. It didn't matter if it was available time, lack a certain skill set, things like that. Even if you don't have any of those worries and you're simply losing steam because you've been working on the same project for years and you're sick of looking at it, I still believe it's rooted in believing it will never be done, so why bother? What's really happening with this motivation issue is your brain is being a dick to you, and that doubt starts to creep in. So I don't see this topic as how do I stay motivated, but rather how do I ignore my brain's attempt to demotivate me? There's a few pieces to this. Most importantly, I really feel being self-aware is at the top of the list. Learning to identify that feeling in the back of your thoughts that starts to think about the failures, the what ifs, or the trap of looking ahead at the big picture and becoming overwhelmed. Once you start to identify what that feeling is, stomp it down when it creeps up. Force yourself to not think about it. Turn your music up, make a loud noise, be crazy, whatever it takes. It sounds strange, it sounds silly, simple, and it's really hard at first. But what's happening is you're training how your brain views a project and your life. So you really do need to jolt it out of that process. Your brain is an amazing device, but it's really dumb. It needs repetition and retraining throughout life. So I'm not joking when I say that you need to do something to jolt yourself out of that thought process as soon as you feel it creeping in. So I started to try to do this for myself. And for me, my brain began to self-manage those feelings. And it's almost as if that flow of thought redirected to a different channel in my brain that I could think about when I wanted to and better analyze in a useful way. Now I don't have to force myself to not worry about it at all because my brain has basically done that workout over and over again and understood, oh, I don't want to think this way. This isn't how I work now, so this can be over here for me to think about later. The other big thing that helps me alongside this is scheduling my project and my day-to-day life. When your life is in order, it's easier to keep your project in order. It's kind of weird as I'm thinking up this video and writing stuff down on how I want to word these things. I'm realizing how much personal improvement that I had to do over time to myself to get into this headspace. So don't feel alone in this. It's hard to do. First, I planned my day every day. This helped me understand my actual windows of free time and helped me know when I could expect to kick my brain into the correct gear for different parts of the day. Take time and play with the schedule. Make sure it feels good. A big lead up to failure is forcing yourself into the wrong position. Be honest with yourself about how you use your time. It really will help put it all into perspective, what your goals are on a high level. Now that my daily life is broken up into chunks I can understand, it's easier to break down a project. The big monster you need to tame is not as bad when you break it into smaller pieces. Look at your game as a whole, what you want to achieve from start to finish. I usually start really high up. I want a game where the bird saves sheep. Okay, so I need a bird and flying mechanics. I need sheep and any AI or mechanics that go with that. I need levels for this to take place in. I need a main menu, in-game UI. Do I want a leaderboard? On and on and on at a high level, just breaking the game down into boxes. Then I can break those down into smaller tasks. My bird needs a model. It needs flying mechanics. It needs special abilities, etc. Textures, rigging, animation. You can keep breaking this down until you have nothing left, but you get the idea. Bring these tasks to a level that are small, achievable, and easier to come up with a time estimate. Now within those tasks, you can place other tasks like promotional posts, blog posts, reaching out to influencers, and whatever else you can think of. Okay, so we got in the weeds on the scheduling stuff. What does this have to do with staying motivated? Well, in my experience following this path, you now have your day-to-day understood. You know how to identify and ignore that feeling that creeps in and get you thinking about the wrong feelings. And now you have a schedule of tiny tasks that will bring your game to completion. So now comes the original tactic. Don't think about it. Keep your head down and work. Don't think about the end goal of your project when you don't need to. You already have your project scheduled. Just do the tasks and keep going. Probably most importantly about that aspect is it's going to be wrong. You're going to fail at parts of it and you're going to have to do it again. That's okay. Every one of us fails and fails hard. No one has a perfect formula. So work on your own and make it better each time. Eventually, you'll just keep pushing forward without thinking about the negative or the positive. It's hard to work and push out an indie game of any size or success level on your own or in a group, which means you need to be in beast mode 24/7 and no one is going to notice the hard work either. It's all internal. Be proud of that. Because in the end, you're going to have a game out that people will say great or terrible things about because they are going to have absolutely no idea the kind of work that you put into it. They're just looking at it at face value. This is why to me, it's so important to train yourself to work on yourself as an individual so you can handle the kind of work indie developers do. If you compare yourself to another developer, you're looking at their best side because like I said, no one knows the effort you put in. So this was a long video, but basically work on yourself. Train your brain to not notice the feelings that demotivate you or disrupt your workflow. Plan your day, plan your project, just put your head down and just go forward. Just keep pushing. You can do it just like anybody else can. So stay driven and good luck. Hey there friends, it's that time again in every YouTube video. If you want to keep seeing stuff like this, game development, my games, be sure to like and subscribe and comment down below. Ring the bell! Who cares? Nobody knows what to do anymore. Also, don't forget that I stream game development live Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Central Time on Twitch, so check it out. See you next time, kids. That was a weird eye.